Hi everyone, so today we will see how we can render data from the API in the form of a list in our React app. So we would be using Axios for the API calling, and we can or cannot use Bootstrap. I'll show you both ways of how you can render a list. Yeah, so let's get started. Inside the VS Code, what you have to do is you have to install Axios, and if you want to do it with help of Bootstrap, you can go ahead and install Bootstrap. So the commands would be for Axios, you can do npm install Axios, and for Bootstrap, you can do npm install Bootstrap. I have already installed both of them. And in the app component, I have removed all the kind of header and the React app and all of those things. We also don't need this logo, so let me remove that. Now what I would do is first I'll create a file in our source, so let it be list.js. And so yeah, our list component is ready. I'll save it, and to show it inside the app we would have to call it. So let me just, yeah, so it got automatically imported, and let's see if it is showing. Yeah, so you can see that is working fine. Now let's go to our list file, and inside this, first what we are going to do is we are going to use JSON placeholder API. So with this we are going to get the free this is a free fake API, so you can get the data from here. As you can see, if I run this script, so yeah, they give the data. So I'll be using this API. Now let's go ahead and do the API call first. So for that, let me just have a variable. So we'll be having posts, and then I'll be setting the posts with the help of use state hook, and we would have to import it. Let me import use state here, and we would also be using use effect. So let's do that also. So now I have a variable where I can keep the data that is coming from the API. I'll be using async await method. So let's first write. So whenever the app is getting loaded, the API would be called. So inside this, I'll be writing the method that is fetch data, where I'll be getting this method would be called whenever the app gets loaded first time. So I'm passing an empty dependency array so that it just gets called once. This function just gets called once. So yeah, let's write our fetch data method. So that would be fetch data function, and I want it to be an asynchronous function. So inside this, I would be having try block where I'll be calling the API, and inside the catch block, I would be catching the error. So here I'll be catching the error, console.log error, and inside the try block, so let's call our API. So it would be, so inside the response, in the response variable, I'd be getting the response. So axios.get. So let me copy the API. Over here I'll paste it. So if I'm calling till to do's, they will give us a list of somewhere around 100 posts. So let's see that. So this is it. This would be the call. After this, let me set. So after this, I'll set posts to our response.data because that is where we would be getting the data. If we want to see, let's also console.log what we are getting in the response. So let's first see if we are getting the data. So I'll save this. Okay, I have not imported Axios. So I'll import Axios from Axios and then I'll save it. And let's go over to our React app and see. So you can see the promise is pending, and that is because I have used the asynchronous method, but I am not waiting for the response. So now that, yeah, see, we are getting the data, and that data is an array. So this is the whole response. Inside the response, we have got data, and in that data, we are getting a complete array of 200 posts. So inside this 0, we have got ID, title, user ID, etc. So now that we have seen, let's go ahead and try to modify it. So here inside the rest.data, I'd be having the posts. So now here we would be seeing how we can manipulate the post to show the list. So first what we will do is map. So our posts is, if you would see in the response, so that data is in the form of array. So we can map through. I'll be using the map function. So we can map through, and inside this, let me give an index and value, and then this is the arrow function. So the map will always return something. So we will be using these open like the normal brackets. So upon this we have to display something. So first of all we want to display a list, and suppose we want to display all the titles, like if you see this title and this id2 title, then id3 title. So let's try and do that. So for that, if let's first see what is coming in the value itself. So what I'll do is inside this map function, I am not using Bootstrap for now. I'm just using the normal list, and let our key be value. If we use, if we see, the value would come as 0 1 0 1 2 3 4, something like that. When we would be mapping through posts, each and every post. So our key, which is supposed to be unique, so that can be the value. And inside here, okay, so let's see what value is coming. Okay, like what is the value? So it's just to show. Yeah, like I said, the value is 0 1 2 3 4. So it's unique, so I have set it up as key. Now, so we want the title. So let me go ahead and show you how we can have the title. So for that, we will not be having value. Rather, we would have something like, let me show you the response. There we can understand. So in our data, we are getting the value as 0. So inside the 0, we have got our title. So how we can frame this is, we want posts value, which would be 0, the first position, and then the title. So for every value, this would first come posts 0, like the 0th one, and its title, then it will come the first one, then it would come the second one. So let me save it and see what it is coming. Yeah, as you can see, we are getting all the 200 posts here. So this is how you can display a list. from API. So let me go ahead and try to show you how we can do it in the Bootstrap. So for that, you need to first install Bootstrap. You can do npm install Bootstrap. Then you can go to their introduction, and here what you can do is you have to copy this CSS for the Bootstrap to work, and in your file, in your app, you have to open the index.html and you have to paste this CSS link and save it. So now your Bootstrap would work wherever you'd want it to work. Now let's go ahead and use their code, like the list one. So you can go to the components and there you can go to the list group. So they have given like various variations. You can use any one which is like handy to you, whichever one you need. So I'll just copy this one. This is the basic one. And what I'll do is I'll comment this out and I'll post that one. So inside this I'll just keep one, because of course we don't need everything because we are just mapping through. And as we are now, let me just write here the same thing, that is this value, and we can mention the key as value. So let's save it and head over to our React app. And yeah, that is how you can do it with the help of Bootstrap. It would actually give you a style and everything. They have already like done it. You don't have to add more styles. Also, you can further style in the Bootstrap itself, like howsoever you want to style it. For example, I don't want it to cover the full width, so you can style here. I'm just giving some inline styles. You can go ahead and make your kind of like .css file. So in here, I want the width to be somewhere around 20 rem. So if I save it and I go over, yeah, you can see the changes has been done. Now I will show you, like this was to show you how you can just show one value, but suppose you have to show more than one value and you want to render it in the list. For example, you also want to show the user ID or the ID that you are getting. So for that we would be using template literals, and we can use backticks. So what we will do is we will use backticks, and we would use, so before that let me wrap it. Yeah, so this is basically how you can use it. So inside this you can also have another value. For example, let me just add another dollar, and in here suppose I want to show the post's value and I want to show their ID. So, and let me save it and see if the ID is coming. So you can see that the ID is also coming. So yeah, this is how you can render a list from an API. So this would be it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.